Well, for Kevin Shea and myself, Dees Diana, a very good afternoon to you, or maybe good evening to you, or maybe good morning to you whenever you're watching this recap. If you just want to catch up on what happened at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday. And I can tell you that there was some exciting racing that we had on offer. The exotics paid well considering the results. But Kevin Shea and I had a good look at the 8 races that we had on show, and we've picked out 3 races. Races 3, 4, and 5 are the races that we'd like to show you. And I think races 3, 4, and 6. Thanks, Lungi, for reminding us 3, 4, and 6. And Kev, before we even go on to 3, 4, and 6, just the day overall. Thankfully, the weather god smiled down, and we only got pretty dark towards the latter end of the meeting.
Yeah, it was well done to everybody concerned. Yeah, it was a little bit dark, a little bit of fine rain coming after the last race, but yeah, it was a good day's racing, and we're going to show you 3 races that we thought were worthwhile recapping.
Well, let's go to the first of those 3 races, and that's race number 3.
Time Taker, Spy Masters fighting on courageously. Down the inside of that one is L's My Daddy. Bat out of L and Ideal Act as they come to the last 100. Time Takers on the outside and Spy Master down the inside. Ideal Act. And Ideal Act coming strongly to get them all. Ideal Act has won at Spy Master, L's My Daddy, and maybe Bat out of L.
Well, Ideal Act winning well prior to winning today. That was on the poly track beating Shavut, and he followed up smartly. Kevin, now when I had a look at Kevin, we both actually looked at it. He was sitting quite awkward in the saddle, and he mentioned to me as he came into the parade ring that his saddle slipped. He didn't slip badly enough for him to have no control of his mount, but he just had to be patient and not do too much for it to get worse.
Yeah, well, that's what you get from experience like Keegan DeMello, yeah. So he said you could see him in the picture there. He comes from a little bit off the pace. I think he's just getting everything settled down. But when he came through, he came through very well and won a very good race, Ideal Act. And well done to the Dean Canamay yard and all owners concerned.
You picked it up quite early in the meeting that, it's not something that's cast in stone, that it's going to be the better going, but it turned out to be that the middle of the track was the more favored going.
Well, the results were all there, Dees. We could see even from the 3rd race onwards, and as they went on further, you saw them winning further and further. Inside, like you say, it's not cast in stone, but we did see a little bit of a pattern. Fancied horses, Luna Cam on the outside pens, running forth. Fancied horses all drawn on the outside and not going on with it. And when they did move to the inside, even the horses that are drawn, when I say wide, drawn high,
yes,
when they started moving in, they started running on. So it looked like today, with all these rains, it could have been a little bit of a dead patch on the outside, but definitely for my liking, the going was middle to inside.
Well, Ideal Act is in a good space. Well done to all the guys there. Dean Canamay Racing Syndicate. Ideal Act actually beat a good run from Spy Master. Take note of that run out. The maidens, the stable quietly fancied his chances. L's My Daddy running well. That ran back in 3rd. And it was Bat Out of Hell that rounded off that quartet. Then the other replay that we got is race number 4. Now, this race, trainer Paul Peter brought down a horse called Great Affair. I say brought down a horse because the horse had one run for him up in Gauteng, which was a good run behind the stable companion Naval Guard, giving Paul Peter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that day. And he was quietly confident that this horse, now that he's a gelding, could get the job done. But this race, Chewbacca was fancied all the while on the tote. If you kept an eye on the Tab Gold betting board, at one stage he was the top one. It changed hands along the way. It ended up Great Affair. But have a look at this ride, Chewbacca.
Towards the outside. Electric Surge now comes forward. Chewbacca between runners is a big runner. And Chewbacca's putting on pressure. Billy Bazooka, Electric Surge and Great Affair on the outside, but Chewbacca past the 200. And it's Chewbacca from Electric Surge over the last 100. Great Affair is running on from behind, but Chewbacca's going to win. Chewbacca from Great Affair. Then came Electric Surge and Space News.
Yeah, that was Chewbacca winning, and he was given a peach of a ride by Garrett White. And it was mentioned in the interview, and we also saw it in the book, that when the conditions came up as soft or slightly soft, but not good today, that it definitely wasn't. This horse, he seems to love this type of going. He thrives in it.
Yeah, Dees, you find horses with problems in their legs really the joints and their knees that take a bit of pounding. When they're going soft like us, they don't feel it and they go through with it. And that's why you get horses, a lot of horses with problems, running softer going. So, yeah, he won a good race, and I must say, top class ride. Gave patient, and I think out of all the winners today, he was the closest to the outside fence.
This horse, Great Affair, what can we take out of this run? Because the stable quietly fancy their chances after gelding him. His style of racing, and I don't know if we can change the pattern. He's not the quickest to match strides for the early pace. He likes to be given a chance. But again, he was just too far out of his ground.
Yeah, I thought he was 1 or 2 lengths further back than what he had liked to have been. But when you saw him, Dees, he comes out, he's got no pace. He's really one of those horses. You've got to just leave him alone and wait your turn. And they've nominated him for the July, and I'm just going to give you an example like the July. You would need pace in the July. You've got to get out the gates, and you've got to get up, not up there, but go with them for at least a furlong and a half, 300, 400 meters, maybe 2 furlongs, to get yourself in a position. A horse like this would find himself a long way out. And today was a 2-4. The July's a 2-2, and it's a tighter track. So just put that in food for thought. They came down with a reputation. He's gelding now. I'm not saying he's not going to go on with it, but if you take him to Greyville now, that will be another first time he's running at a new track as well. I thought today the track just found him out a bit.
Yeah, when he was with Nathan, it was shorter running, didn't suit him. He's got a long way to go, but he's a nominee. That's all it's about. You got an entry into the Hollywoodbets Durban July. He's nominated. He's just got a rating of 82. He's got a long way to go. We'll see how he goes. Great Affair. We'll follow his progress. Maybe he would have just needed that run after gelding as well. And then we moved along to race number 6. Now, there was quality in this race, although it turned out to be a small field. Silvano's Timer is a horse that we'll talk about after watching this replay, because he's a very interesting runner from the Dean Canamea stable. But trainer Vaughan Marshall, he looked to have a strong hand, and that's the way it turned out.
Timer coming to the 300, chatted and Skeeper, but now Look for Hounds puts on the pressure, and Look for Hounds goes on. Silver Operator on the inside, chatted and Skeeper the outside. Look for Hounds the leader towards the inside, Silver Operator and chatted and Skeeper, but Look for Hounds is going on, and it's Look for Hounds to win it. Second, Silver Operator, then chatted and Skeeper, and Tread Swiftly.
Well, they finished 1-2 there. Look for Hounds, the lesser fancied of the two. If the betting was anything to go by, getting the better of Silver Operator. And Chatterton Skipper was back in third. But first, let's talk about this horse called Silvano's Timer, who ran a good race to a point, but he was off for so long, and all the issues that he's had prior to coming to the races today, and the way they've nursed him back after all these procedures and operations that he has to go through. I think Dean will take a lot out of this if he pulls up sound tomorrow and everything is 100%.
Yeah, let's just hope he pulls up sound. I can't see any reason why he shouldn't. And I can virtually guarantee you this horse is a big improvement next time. You can only do so much at work, especially with a horse with injuries. You don't want to overdo it. So you're always leaving a little bit in the tank. And he hasn't run for nearly 2 years as well. So that's a big thing. A big gap. So for me, watch this horse. It's going to be interesting to see where Dean goes to, which route he's going to go. But it'll be a big improvement next time. You could see today he ran up to them and he just fell in a hole. That was just pure lack of racing, lack of fitness to that level. To win, to get horses to win, you've got to have them in a very, very high level of fitness. And this horse definitely lacked it today. Not on looks. He's a bull of a horse. He looked like they've tightened him up as much as possible, but these are the races that bring them on.
Yeah, I agree. He is also a nominee in this year's Hollywoodbets Durban July. He's just started off his engine after a long layoff, as Kevin mentioned. Don't write him off after this run. He's a run that the stable were expecting him to go well. They weren't expecting him to win. They were just expecting him to show himself up well, and there's lots to work with coming off this lengthy break. But the race belonged to trainer Vaughan Marshall, as we mentioned, and Look for Hounds, who beat the stable companion Silver Operator, in fact finished in front of him on that run to Warrior on World Sports Betting midday, confirmed that run again today. And in the small field, positive ride by Gavin Larena, But Silver Operator, he's a horse that I'm going to pencil in as one to follow next time out in a big way. I don't know where Vaughan's got plans to race him, but lots can be taken about how he fared today as well, having his first run here in Scottsville, Hollywoodbets Scottsville.
Definitely, he's not a rated 119 for nothing. He's a top horse, and he's going to be going definitely for some of the features. So well done to Vaughan. As you said, we only ended up 6 runners, and he produced the goods.
And for Vaughan Marshall, it's been a quiet start for him here in champion season. That was his first winner here, and we wish him all the best, as I did in that interview. Kevin, it was an absolute pleasure working alongside you, as it always is. And, although the results didn't go, the way the punters expected throughout the day, but for the guys that find themselves in the winner's queue, it's results that they want for these type of dividends. 415 Rand for the PA. The Pick Six paid well as well.
Some lovely dividends today. Nice quartets, as you said, the second last and last race. We found them very difficult races. With 1 or 2 of the fancy horses running well, you could have got some serious money.
Well, thanks to Kevin Shea, thanks to Craig Peters, the commentator for the afternoon, and the entire team at Gold Circle TV. On behalf of Kevin Shea, Dees Dianand, and the team, Craig Peters upstairs in the commentary box. You take care, be safe, and until next time, Salani Kashle.